Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Los, and I'm coming back at y'all with another episode of what happened to our favorite hoopers. Today we are taking a look at one of my all-time favorites, Gilbert the Hibachi Arenas. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and tell me who I should do a video on next in the comments. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the love, but without further ado, let's get into it. Gilbert J. Arenas Jr. was born on January 6, 1982 in Tampa, Florida. A lot of people don't know this, but Gilbert is actually part Cuban, so shout out all my Cubanos one time, man. His family would relocate some years later to the San Fernando Valley section of Los Angeles, where Arenas would attend Grant High School. When Gil enrolled at Grant, he was only 5'9", 140 pounds soaking wet. But that look of innocent would catch defenders slipping. Arenas would go on an average 30 points a game his junior year and was set to transfer to powerhouse Sylmar as they played a more national schedule. His coach at the time at Grant would convince him to stay, and they would go on to win a league title that season. Sylmar won state though, so I guess joke's on Gil, right? Gil and his father always dreamed of him playing at UCLA. However, UCLA had other prospects in mind at the time. Don't get me wrong, they were kind of recruiting Arenas, but Boozer was their top guy, and he would eventually choose Duke. Gil's attitude turned the Bruins off a little bit as well, but F it, Gil had other offers from high majors and would choose Arizona, otherwise known as Point Guard U. Shout out Damon Stoudemire one time. Gilbert would have some big shoes to fill, as the previous point guard was Mike Bibby. Now, all of y'all remember Mike Bibby and the Kings, man. Mike Bibby was cold, but the team was stacked again, featuring players like Richard Jefferson and Luke Walton. Richard Jefferson had a solid career. Luke Walton, he had a decent career, but he's coaching now, so shout out Luke Walton too, man. Gil's time at Arizona would be the first time people saw the competitive nature of Gilbert Arenas. See, he had a teammate at the time whose name was Ruben Douglas, and Gil actually gave him 49 the year before in high school. Well, to start the season off, he would shoot absolutely nothing but pull-up jumpers in the first few pickup games and scrimmages, so the guy was a shooter, right? So when the first official team practice starts, Gilbert comes down, Ruben Douglas is guarding him, and he reportedly gave Ruben a hesitation so vicious that Ruben jumped in the air and lost his jockstrap. Safe to say, Douglas had to get the hell out of there, and he would actually leave that season to go play at New Mexico. Tell me that's not crazy. Gil would play 2 seasons at Arizona, averaging 16 points and 4 rebounds a game, which is not bad at all considering he was playing with some great players at a national powerhouse. Although he did have some good stats, his coaches thought that he wasn't ready for the league yet. But Gilbert, as we all know, is a man of his own, and he does what he wants essentially. So Gilbert would enter the 2001 draft, in which his father would host a huge party. But things quickly went south when Gil saw his stock falling pick by pick. He would essentially get picked up 31st by the Warriors and had made it his mission to prove everyone wrong. With the offense now in his hands in Golden State, Gilbert was ready to work. All smiles on the court as usual, he became increasingly frustrated with all the losing. The Warriors lost 44 games in 02 and 03, and Gilbert was getting so frustrated that he was getting tech after tech. And sometimes it was reported he had to take halftime showers, but that's not the crazy part. In full uniform. This man had to take halftime showers in full uniform just to cool off because he was so pissed off. If that don't let you know the competitive fight of Gil, I don't know what do. Gilbert was also known for smashing chairs, clipboards, and anything else in his way. And his teammates eventually nicknamed him Baby Ron Artest. So that's funny as hell. Gilbert appeared in all 82 games for the Warriors that season, and he finished with some pretty good numbers, averaging 18 points and 6 assists. I think it was safe to say that he could be a productive NBA player. And at the end of the season, he was voted the league's most improved, beating out Chauncey Billups and Tony Parker, and those are 2 Hall of Fame point guards right there. So Gil was well on his way to a Hall of Fame career. Gil had Golden State fans turned. But unfortunately, this would soon come to an end. See, it was exposed through an interesting loophole in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement. Because he was a second-round pick, Gilbert was not only eligible for early bird free agency, but the Warriors were not allowed to offer him more than the average salary of $4.6 million. $4.6 million, man, come on. If we see now in 2021, the NBA has made it to where the team that drafted you is going to be able to offer you the best contract. But back then, this was not the case. And in order to keep Gilbert, the team would have to gut its entire roster. The Warrior fans went crazy when they found out. They even launched websites supporting him and urged the Warriors to find any way to keep him. Ultimately, however, it was the Washington Wizards that would put the best deal on the table. 6 years, 65 M's, which doesn't sound like a lot of money now, but that was a pretty fair contract back then. Having just closed the book on the Michael Jordan era, the team's new coach Eddie Jordan and new GM Ernie Grunfeld wanted to rebuild around a nucleus of exciting young talent. Already on the roster, they had Larry Hughes and Kwame Brown. Sorry, I always laugh when I hear the name Kwame Brown, which was the top pick in the 2001 draft. It would be a slow grind as far as winning came though, but in 2005-2006, the Wizards had a new three-headed monster: Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jamison, and Caron Butler. The Wizards were still not winning many games, and despite 30 points a game from Gil, he was snubbed from the All-Star game, only getting a spot due to Jermaine O'Neal getting injured. Gilbert would have many great battles throughout his career against LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and just about everyone else in the league. His ability to pull up from anywhere inside half court and run a series of buckets off at any time earned him the nickname Hibachi. Cooking shit. One of my fave stories about Gil was after he was left off the roster for the FIBA World Championship, he vowed to make Team USA director Jerry Colangelo pay. Jerry Colangelo was also GM of the Phoenix Suns at the time, so when the Wizards played the Phoenix Suns, Gilbert lit them up for 54 points, and every bucket he glared at Colangelo throughout the game. Gil was a dog. The season seemed to be heading in the right direction for Washington until April, when Gilbert went down with a season-ending knee injury. The Wizards squeezed into the playoffs that year, but they were swept by the Cavs in the first round. Gilbert's knee injury was a torn left MCL, and that would rob him of almost 2 entire seasons. Gilbert would only make a total of 10 starts in 07-08 and 08-09 combined. The Wizards did a pretty good job the first year, finishing with a winning record, followed by another first-round loss to the Cavs. Man, LeBron had the Wizards number. In year 2 of Gilbert's absence, the team fell apart. Washington would lose 63 games, tying the franchise record for losses. 2009-2010 would offer us one of Gil's last good seasons in the NBA. Until Christmas 2009. News began trickling out of the Verizon Center that Gilbert had brought 3 unloaded guns into the Washington locker room. Later, it was revealed that he and teammate Javaris Crittenton had been waving guns at each other in a dispute over gambling debts. For all y'all watching this video, man, do not gamble. This shit don't lead to nothing good. You might come up one time, but you're gonna go down 5. Ironically, this happened a month after beloved longtime owner Abe Pollin died. And Abe Pollin was the reason the team name changed from the Bullets to the Wizards to remove the taint of gun violence. This was actually not Gilbert's first run-in with firearms in the NBA. As far as a younger player in Golden State, he was also caught with an improperly registered weapon in his possession. When local cops and federal investigators got involved, Gilbert stopped talking. Hey, at least we know Gil wasn't no snitch. Gilbert would issue a public apology, but his career would never really be the same. Arenas, who had signed a 6-year, $111 million deal in 2008, was now on the outside looking in of a league that he once dominated. He would get dealt to the Magic, where he earned $17.7 million in his lone season playing with the Magic. But get this, the Magic still had to pay him for another 4 years. I'm gonna explain this. So he had 2 years remaining on his deal. However, the 2012 NBA lockout season gave teams the opportunity to use a one-time amnesty clause. Orlando would use it to clear Arenas' salary off their books. 1, this shows you how much Arenas declined, but 2, it also shows you what that incident in the Wizards locker room had really done to his career. As part of this agreement, the Magic and Arenas would agree to stretch out the payments of that contract. So despite cutting him in December 2011, they were paying him all the way till December 2016. So Arenas was getting that bread, he was chilling, he was living, he got all his money. So shout out Gilbert Arenas one time, man. It wasn't the prettiest way to end the NBA career, but hey, he got his money. All in all, I think it's safe to say that Gil made wearing the number 0 a thing. He provided the fans with masterful performances and brought a lot of excitement to an already exciting era of basketball. Bad things do happen to good people, and by all accounts, Gilbert's a good guy. The gun incident won't define him as a person or player, but it may bring him into the crosshairs of the NBA when his name comes up. Gilbert's made a boatload of cash in his career and has a great podcast, so it's safe to say he's transitioning well from the game of basketball. But where does Gil rank in terms of point guards in the 2000s, or as far as guards in general? Because Gil was tough. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and remember to subscribe and comment below on who I should do a video on next. This has been another one with your boy. I'm out.